Hey there, this is your initial setup guide for the Cake Ninja cake pricing spreadsheet. And this is my actual spreadsheet, so you'll see some numbers in here that are just exactly like what you might be doing once you get it set up. It's a little bit of time to set it up, but I promise you it'll save you so much time in your pricing and you'll feel really confident about what your quotes are going to start becoming. So the first place to start is here. When you open it up is down here on instructions. Each section has a tutorial unless it's just super self-explanatory, and then there's some links down here and how to get a hold of me and my YouTube channel and all that. In case you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So your quick start guide is the very best place to get started. So please read through that first. And the first thing you're going to do is, one, make a copy of this so that you have a clean copy always, and just call it master or something like that, or maybe a date or clean copy or something like that, so that when you want to start over, like at the beginning of the year perhaps, or when you've just got too many recipes and jobs down here, it just gets a little cumbersome, you've got a nice fresh one. I used to do mine about every 6 months, but I've gotten really busy, so now I'm redoing it and doing a fresh master about every 3 months. I try not to do it too much because it takes a little bit of time, and I will have a tutorial on that one of these days. I don't have it yet. Okay, so then number 2, you must start using a kitchen scale because everything is going to be in grams and milliliters. Much more clean for you because there's less cleanup, and also it's much more accurate. Point number 3, you need to only enter data into yellow cells. You can customize some things, but only if you're a bit handy with spreadsheets. If you need something customized, let me know and I'll see if I can help you. I've locked most of the formulas so that you don't accidentally put something in there and then mess everything up. Again, there are video tutorials for each page. And there's a converter which I've added, so I'll explain that when that comes later. So first thing you're going to do is come from the instructions page to the setup page. Okay, so this page is where you're going to put your particular prices and costs. So your labor cost, your cupcake cost, because those are generally by the dozen. The cakes will come in later, so hang on. And your delivery costs. So I charge $20 an hour. This is what I charge for delivery in the mileage. And this is my simple cupcakes. This is my more detailed cupcakes. And this is my tax rate. So you saw when I put my cursor on this box, a little box came up. And that little box you'll find all over the spreadsheet. And they're very handy little ways for you to understand more about what goes in that box and how to fill it out correctly. So my tax rate is 7.3125. So what I did was I put 0.073125. So whatever your tax rate is, and I give you a sample here, it will tell you how to enter that. Okay, so if your prices change, if your tax rate changes, if you decide not to charge tax, then you would just put a 0 here. And all of that is always going to be done from this page. This is the page that everything else will feed into as far as your part of your costs. So the next thing you're going to go to is the individual recipe costs. And that has a lock on it because a bunch of those formulas are locked. So as I've said, everything has to be in grams. And what I will do is show you how everything is converted into either a price per gram or per milliliter if it's a liquid. So let's say you buy your flour for $3.99. You're going to put $3.99 in there. But if you pay $2.99, then put $2.99 in there. Then look on the flour bag and see how many grams it is. Mine happened to be 2260. But let's say it says 5 pounds of flour and it doesn't give you grams. Then you easily go up here and you know you have 5 pounds. So you choose pounds and you put 5. and you want to know how many grams it is, so you've selected the G for grams. That tells you that that is 2268 grams. So this is the number that's going to go here. So this little converter is really handy. Then that's going to tell you this is less than a penny per gram. But if I put in on my first recipe, I needed 140 grams. And here's again another little helper to help you figure out how many grams you need. I put in 140 grams for that recipe, comes out to 25 cents. So you will go ahead and do this with all of your actual ingredients. Now, my ingredients are probably not too far from what you pay for your ingredients, so you don't have to feel pressure that you have to put every single one of these in today. But as you go along and you go to the grocery store, put in your prices and what you're getting. Or if you're buying it off of Amazon, put it in there and what you got for that price. Some of these do have links to Amazon, so you know exactly what I'm looking at and where I'm getting my prices. I also like to put in my vendor. I haven't put in too many because this is a fresh new one for the last quarter of 2019. But let's say, for example, my local store is Smith's. I'm going to put Smith's in there because that's where I find I like to get the best prices. Or a lot of times like this one, I'm sure I get at Amazon. So I remember, oh, okay, I know I get that one from Amazon. And you can, I have a link, or you can put your own link here, whichever you like. And there is a tutorial on how to add a link so that you can remember, oh, okay, this is where I got that, and you can just click the link and go buy it again. So once you get all your ingredients priced out, or if you want to start by just using mine, that's totally fine. You're going to go ahead and put in all your recipes. This is enough space for 100 recipes. And what you're going to do once again is if it's yellow, you can put something in it. So if it's any other color, don't put anything in it because that's a formula. I've protected those formulas, but just to avoid your own frustration, just remember I'm not supposed to be putting anything in that's not yellow. Okay, I changed this color to a slightly darker yellow because that's all my cake recipes, but on yours, you're going to have, this is all going to be yellow. So I put in my Wask cake. One time I made it and I measured that it gave me 1370 grams or 7 cups. After I put in all the ingredients, this is what it cost me, and it had 9 ingredients. So I went ahead and I looked at my recipe and I said, oh, I need 140 grams of flour. I need 9 milliliters of almond extract, and you can see it pops up if you need 1 teaspoon. You know that that's 4.9, or you can just round it up to 5. And I needed 1 cake mix, which again, you'll have a little converter here that handily pops up to tell you how much that is in grams. So again, you're putting all of these in grams, all your ingredients for that particular recipe. And each one has its own note about what you need to put in terms of grams if it happens to be in teaspoons, which most of them are. Okay, so I did that for every one of my recipes. Now this is something you can't depend on me for because you have your own recipes. So what I do is I put all my cakes were from like 1 to 20, I think I did. And I couldn't fill up actually 20. So those are blank, but as I get more recipes that I want to try, I'm going to go ahead and put them in there toward the end. I've already done that one, so this will be my next recipe. Then at 26, I started my frostings, and there's a reason for this, and I'll show you why later. So because it's nice to have all your cake recipes together, then all your frosting recipes together, then all your filling recipes together. I started my fillings here on 61. And so you can organize that any way you like, but the way that it's going to come out when you leave them blank, oh, before I go to that, I left number 100 as a quick check. So let's say there's a recipe I'm not sure I want to keep, but either I just want to see what it would cost me or someone's asking for it and I'm like, okay, I don't have that in my recipes yet. You can use it just as a little quick check and say, okay, put that in there. I may not put it in my recipe files, but if I do, then you can move it over. Okay, so once you've done all your individual recipes, all of these recipes will magically appear over here on Costing Master. So this is your Costing Master. And as you can see, all of these are blank right now because I don't have a cake in there, but look at this down here. All those recipes that I put in automatically showed up here. So you'll see why I decided to do all my cakes from 1 to 25, and I don't quite have 25, but as I add more cakes, these will fill in. And I know all my cakes are right here. And my keto cakes are from 26 to 30. Okay, if I add another keto cake, I'll put it here on, it'll go on 30 and then on the individual recipes, and it'll pop up here. My frostings are from 31 to 50. So if I add more, they'll pop up here just so I can keep it visually more organized. These are my fillings. You can put your recipes in any way you like, but when they are summarized here, it's really nice to have them grouped. Okay, so there's going to be more information on the Costing Master tutorial, which is all focused on this one sheet. So I won't go into that too much, but I want to just give you a quick overview of how to set up and utilize the other tabs. So the order tracker is a really great tab because I use, I have a wedding planner that I work with, and so she and I go back and forth on what cakes are due when and all that. So this is the one I'm going from. These are the cakes that I have sort of on the dock, and I like to just look at, okay, what do I have going on this week? What can I do maybe a little bit ahead of time to freeze or something like that? So what you can do is put in the name, what you quoted them, the date, the due date, the time if there is, what kind of delivery there is, all the details of the cake so that you can refer to it when you're cooking. Cake, there's an intimate package that I give, which is a stock price. There's a bride's cake or just the main cake that you can put all your information. If there's a groom's cake, there's room for that. If there's cupcakes, did you include delivery? So you can make sure to put that on your price. Any special notes and any way of if you contacted them, how, because I don't know about you guys, but there's so many messaging programs that I don't know where the heck I sometimes am talking with a person from. So anyway, I do that. And then if they've paid or not. And the cool thing is this. So this lady paid, and I put 35 here. And over here, it turned green. I quoted her, I told her 35. She paid 35, so this turned green. That means she's paid. Okay, this lady, I told her 75. She has not paid me yet, so there's nothing there. So this is not green because I have not been paid, but let's put 75 in and you'll see it turn green. Okay, so that means she's paid me. Okay, so she hasn't, so I'm going to take that off. And I really like this because this is just a quick look of, oh, okay, what I've got still paid, what I need to ask for, things like that. Okay, I love this order tracker. I'm on it every day. Next one is price comparison. Let's say that you want to just check out what your different vendors are pricing different things at. So you can do that here. You can do that here for non-food ingredients. Your price list, if you sell something very often, go ahead and put that here. That way you don't have to keep repricing it. This is a chart to help you figure out how many layers and how many grams and cups and whatever you need for different size cakes. A handy dandy converter. And if you want to check out what your old price was compared to what the Ninja can give you, then this price study will do the job for you. So look for the other tutorials and I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.